things. Here's the Gorby lover himself, Jeff Tolcher.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Please hold the applause. Wally,
Bueno, Jeff.
it's always an extreme pleasure making a fool of you on your television show, Wally. It's always an extreme pleasure.
You haven't done it in 7 years, and you never will. Now, Jeff, you have joined a lot of deluded Americans. You have joined those brainwashed Americans who believe in Gorbachev. He came over. Hey, you know, they say Ronald Reagan was a great actor. I say Gorbachev deserves an Oscar. What do you think? Gorbachev came over here not to have any kind of a summit meeting, not to make any agreements, not to make any concessions. He came over here because he's in a damn lot of trouble back home. He came over here to prop himself up, to get himself back on his feet, and we're going to help him, and I say that's baloney!
As usual, you don't give a rat's rear end about any people of any countries. The reason that Gorbachev
Wait a minute, Jeff. Wait a minute, Jeff.
Let me talk.
Wait a minute, Jeff.
You run a monologue the first 3 minutes.
Let me make one comment on your opening statement. Wait, I have to say this.
Why do you interrupt me?
Speaking of a rat's rear end, reminds me of your face.
See? That's all you can do. That's all you can do. You interrupted me for that. You interrupted me for that, you old moron.
Go ahead.
Wally, first of all, the reason that Gorbachev came here, Wally, was because his people, he is in trouble, I will agree with you there. He's trying to feed his people. One of the provisions of that agreement that he signed with Bush was to get grain and food to his people. He's trying to have peace. He also signed an agreement which allows, trying to eliminate chemical weapons between both countries, Wally. Why are you dogging this man for trying to bring peace?
I'm telling you why.
Because you're a wimp.
No, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because you cannot trust that moron. We have signed 7 separate treaties with the Soviet Union over the years, and they have broken every single one of them.
All right, now, Wally, I am about to embarrass you before the nation. I did a show with you a while back, and it was between a summit. Shut up a second, would you?
Hey,
I did a show a while back. Wait a minute, shut up. I did a show a while back, Wally.
Wait a minute.
Reagan and
the only thing that embarrasses me is having you on my program.
Well, you must be embarrassed a lot because I'm always here. When Reagan and Gorbachev had their last summit before Reagan thankfully left office. Reagan basically gave in to Gorbachev, and now Bush is trying to butter up to him.
I beg to differ.
Why did Bush throw the red carpet out there?
Contraire, you moron. Now, wait a minute.
Why did Bush roll the red carpet out there then?
Wait a minute.
He was treated like a king
Wait a minute,
here,
my
Wally.
friend. On the very first summit that Gorbachev and Ronald Reagan had, Ronald Reagan went face-to-face with Gorbachev. Gorbachev tried to play hardball, and it was Ronald Reagan who ended the summit, walked away, refused to shake Gorbachev's hand, got in his limo, and drove home.
So in essence,
you're the one who was embarrassed.
Hold on. So in essence, Wally, what you're saying is that if Reagan took such a hard line stance against Gorbachev, why is Bush being a whip and opening his arms?
I want to tell you something.
These your idiot Republicans that are doing this all the time.
Wait a minute.
And here, you're going against him. Wait a minute. Here's a man you voted for. Am I correct?
Yes.
You voted for Bush.
I did.
You defend him all the time, and now he makes one mistake and you're against him.
Wait a minute.
You're a backstabber, Wally.
Wait a minute. I am not any rubber stamp.
You're a rubber man is what you are. Yeah, rubber man.
Wait a minute.
With a rubber neck.
I wish your father had used one.
Oh, Wally. Shame on you. Now you see, America, this is the real Wally.
No,
What I'm
telling you, it would have been a blessing for America. What I'm trying to tell you is I'm not a rubber stamp for the Republican Party. I agree with 99% of what George Bush does and the Republican Party, but I say the president, I hate to say it, Mr. President, but he was wrong in here. He gave too much. Only 2 weeks before Gorbachev came over here, President Bush stated to the nation. He said, I have just about run out of patience on what's happening in Lithuania, and I am
come on, Wally. Can't got your tongue, buddy?
I have run out of patience, and I am waiting for Gorbachev to stop his economic blockade of Lithuania and the Baltic nations.
So what does Bush do? He gives in to him.
And
that's a real smart president, Wally.
He was wrong.
Real smart. A man you voted for gives in to the Russians. I think
made a mistake.
See, hey, wait, you know, Wally is really showing himself to be the wimp that he really is because...
I'm a man of truth.
You're not a man of truth.
Oh, really? Hey, wait a minute.
A man you voted for, you're
wait
a minute, Wally.
Hey,
make up your mind.
I'll show you when I would be a wimp. I would be a wimp if I went along with every single damn thing George Bush does. But I'm not a wimp. I'm a man, and I'll call it the way I see it.
Well, wait, you bring up a good point,
and
Wally.
I'm saying this.
You're talking about Lithuania.
I'm saying this. If Ronald Reagan had been president, this would never have happened.
You talk about Lithuania, Wally. The fact that the Soviet Union will not, you know, about their embargoes on Lithuania. Hey, Wally, wait a minute. Would you get these guys to shut their ugly mouths for a second? These people, gosh, they can't even talk. Put a muzzle on them. Anyway, Wally, the situation. The situation in Lithuania is, there's a good comparison to that. If you want Russia to leave Lithuania and reduce their embargoes, why shouldn't the U.S. leave Nicaragua? It's the same thing.
No, it isn't, pal.
How is it different?
Let me tell you why. Because in Nicaragua, in Grenada, we were there to bring freedom to the people.
We were there to stick our big, long bush noses in it. That's what we were doing.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. We went into Nicaragua, we liberated Grenada, but we didn't keep that country for ourselves. We gave it back to the people.
No, wait a minute. You're wrong. See, that's one area in politics you don't know what you're talking about, because when U.S. goes in and does that to a country...
Do we own Grenada now?
Wait, let me talk.
No.
Would you shut up
You know what you're talking about. You know what you're talking about.
Shut up.
Do we own Grenada? We went in...
Wally, you don't even let me talk.
We liberated Grenada.
No, you don't know your history, Wally. When we go in and liberate, what you say liberate a country, we put a puppet leader, like we did in Cuba before Castro.
Who do we put in?
We do it to all these countries.
No,
and you're
we
trying
don't.
to say that Russia is an evil empire, and that the U.S. is you know, goody two shoes. Come on, like, open your eyes.
Now you open your eyes. Now hold on. You shut your mouth. What the American people are doing in Nicaragua, in Grenada, and all over in the Central America, what we are trying to do is to allow the people of the free world to have that freedom.
No, you know what
wait a minute.
You're paranoid. You know that?
You are paranoid. I'm talking
Every time you, Bush, and Reagan think there's a problem, you send your troops in there.
When a man like Daniel Ortega threatens to take away freedom and democracy from the people of that country, then we have the right to bring that freedom back to those people.
Oh, yeah, okay, wait a minute. You bring up a real good point, Wally. You talk about Daniel Ortega. Here's a guy that the U.S. in 1984 supported his fraudulent elections, and then back in 1988 they're going against it. So this country, with Republicans running it, is as confused as your old
Really?
folks.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, I have news for
Major
you.
confusion,
When we liberated Grenada, they were so grateful, they named an airport after President Ronald Reagan. I'll be right back.
He's a moron.